Count 1, possession of methamphetamine in I felony. How do you wish to plead?
Guilty.
Court will find your plea of guilt is done knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily. Will find that you understand your constitutional rights and what it means to waive and give up the rights. I'm going to find a factual basis to accept your plea of guilt. Based on that, I will find you guilty of possession of methamphetamine. The remaining count in that case, the other case, will be dismissed and read in for purposes of sentencing. A judgment of conviction will be entered today. Argument and sentencing recommendation, Mr. Schmidt.
Thank you. We've essentially got two fact patterns here, one a drug case and another multiple gas drive-offs. That's where the theft and restitution case comes from. You could imagine how one is caused by the other. So I think treating the substance abuse benefits not just the defendant, but society as a whole by hopefully removing one of the prerequisite conditions of the crime, which is drug use interfering with the ability to, have work, be productive, and pay for your own gas. So there's one extent there. The restitution is for making the victim whole on the gas drive-offs. I think that altogether, in the totality of things, this is the best way to achieve that outcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harrington.
Thank you, Judge. We first start with the three touchstones: gravity of the offense, character of the defendant, need to protect the public. Defendant's convicted of possession of methamphetamine, $10,000, 3.5 years, 1 year, 6 months confinement. And then the retail theft, the gas drive-offs. These are serious offenses. Character of the defendant. I have been aware of Sundance in my prior profession for a long time. I briefly looked at the CCAP this morning to try to get a sense of Sundance's prior record. The court is familiar with Sundance Johnson's prior record. When I represented him in the prior case, the 22 CF case, in my first conversation, I said to him, Sundance, you know who I am. I know who you are. I sent you to jail. Did I send you to prison?
Mm-hmm.
I sent you to jail. I sent you to prison when I was a judge. So if you want another lawyer, for goodness sake, say so, the public defender, you get you one. And he said, no, I want you. And I took that as sort of a backhanded compliment, perhaps. When I sentenced Sundance to jail and prison years ago, it was for the same reason we're here today. He's using methamphetamine or drugs, or he was stealing. And they're all connected together. And Sundance and I chatted on the phone yesterday about what's different now than when, years ago when I sentenced him to jail or treatment or jail or prison. And he said, well, I was always going to go to treatment, but everybody would let me free in the community. And by the time treatment came around, I had reoffended, reused, and that's why I didn't successfully complete treatment. What's different this time is he's on that probation case, the 2022 CF. He's on a probation hold that he's not going to get off the probation hold. His ATR is conditioned specifically upon stay in jail until he goes to treatment, directly to treatment. It may be 30 days, it may be 60 days, it may be 6 months. His condition of the ATR is he successfully completes treatment, from treatment, assessment, evaluation, cognitive intervention, treatment, outpatient, job, then come back to the community. That's what's different here. Before, I, as the judge, made a mistake with Sundance. I didn't say you're going directly from jail to treatment. Now, that was my mistake. And
I don't
he
think
got
we
the
get that choice, though, as judge. As judge, we don't get that choice.
if one is very creative, Judge, you can do that. But that's my view of
Cash bonds, yep.
our circumstance. And that's what's different here today. Sundance is going directly from jail to treatment. He's going to have about 6 months of enforced sobriety He's not getting any substances in the Bayfield County Jail or the Burnett County Jail. And he's clean. When he gets there, he will be clean, and then they can do the assessment. How you structure the sentence leading up to the probation, I don't think is what's important. What I mean, you can either withhold or you impose and stay. But I urge the court to put him on probation for 18 months, 2 years, whatever. And condition the probation on the same conditions of the ATR. Successfully complete treatment from assessment, evaluation, intervention, cognitive intervention, aftercare, release to the community. That's the only way the court system, you as the judge in this instance, are going to be able to break this cycle of what Sundance Johnson has been in for 23 years. And I think this is what the court ought to do. If I had been so enlightened years ago, maybe Sundance wouldn't be in the situation he's in now, but I wasn't. I wore my Grinch tie then, and I wore my Grinch tie today. Sundance Johnson, this is a different circumstance. It's a different sequence of when he's going. And that's why I think probation for however long the court deems appropriate. We stipulated 18 months, but certainly it could be 2 years with the condition that he goes directly to probation or directly to treatment and successfully completes the treatment. Statutory costs. Sundance has some money in his account. I'm not sure what the costs and fees are, but he also has some child support things that he's got to deal with from his account. He received $1,800. $1,800 as a bonus per cap or something of that sort, and that's in his jail account. And he understands he has financial obligations. He's not a bad guy. I've gotten to know him much more since I started to represent him instead of being the judge, but I like the guy.
And it's my understanding, I mean, he has a lengthy criminal history, but I can't recall if any of it's violent.
No, he's not mean and violent. He's addicted to drugs, and the addiction has led to the property crimes. He has three pages on CCAP. And in looking at that, I caution the judge that it's Sundance Johnson Sr., some are Sundance Johnson Jr. There's a whole slug of child support, a whole slug of civil cases, things that are all criminal. He's got a number of misdemeanors and a number of felonies. But it's 3 pages on CCAP, which is, if that's any measure of anything, that's where he's at. Sundance has always been straight with me, and he told me in March, get this over with, Gene. I just want to get this done with. He accepts the responsibility, and we had sort of a elopement period there, and now we're here, and Sundance wants to get it done with, and he wants to go to treatment. With that, I urge the judge to follow the plea agreement. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson, what do you want to say to me?
Just I'm looking forward to go to treatment if given the opportunity. When I was talking to my PO, going straight to there was my idea instead of going back out to, I wasn't gonna BS her with trying to go look for clothes or nothing like that, because I know if, give me enough time, I'll probably just take off. So, that being said, I just hope I can go to treatment, because it's something that's never been offered yet before.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Harrington did go through the factors that the court has to look at, nature and gravity of offense, how serious is this? This is a methamphetamine case. It is more of a crime against you than it is against the community as a whole. The crimes against the community are those retail thefts, the taken drives, the, not paying for the gas that you legally are entitled, you legally are responsible for paying. When I'm looking at you, you do have a lengthy criminal history. I don't know, I don't look at CCAP, so I don't know the 3 pages of CCAP cases that come up for your name. I only go off of either if I have a PSI or somebody tells me your criminal history or my judicial knowledge. You've been in front of me multiple times, but again, nothing is spurring my memory to lead me to believe that it's been violent. It's use crimes and less serious, but silly, stupid things of taking drives where you're going to get caught. You will get caught. There will be punishment, especially the punishment with these types of crimes is becoming harsher and harsher. And there's a reason for that. It's because businesses are victims. And in reality, when you victimize a business, you're victimizing the community because it's causing their prices to have to increase. And everybody's hurting right now with the cost of all kinds of things. So again, this is more of a use crime. You are an addict. This may be the first time in your life that you are finally admitting and acknowledging those things, and you're having this understanding that you can't go out. You can't be free in the community between being incarcerated and going to treatment because you will slip up. And at least you are strong enough and smart enough to acknowledge that right now. You're clear-minded and clear thinking where you can see that and you know that that will happen. So I do commend you for that. This is the healthiest I've seen you. And I know you've been incarcerated, but this is the healthiest I have seen you ever. You look healthy, you look clear-minded. And so I'm glad to see that, and hopefully you'll be able to go into treatment and you'll be able to hit it head on and learn so much and be able to utilize that and put that forth in your everyday life and kick the habit. It's more than a habit, honestly. You're destroying yourself and your life, and you know that more than any of us here. I think probation is an appropriate recommendation for this type of crime. This is not a prison sentence, even if I'm looking at it and even if I'm going, oh, what am I going to sentence you to? Even if you go out and you commit many, many more crimes with regards to this matter, what's in front of this court, this is not a prison sentence. I'm going to order 1.5 years of probation. I am not doing a withheld sentence. I'm doing an imposed and stayed 1 year in the county jail if you are revoked. Conditions of probation. You must pay the $196.59 in restitution, and that must be paid, I'm going to say, within 15 days from today through your jail account. I would have it taken care of right away, because if you're unable to come up with that money, then that's a violation of your judgment of conviction, because you have it, and that was part of the agreement, is that you would pay it from the money you have sitting there so that the victims can be made whole. Conditions of probation will also include you must successfully complete treatment and regular drug testing. And when you are released from treatment, some type of gainful employment. And to regularly pay your child support. That's a condition of probation as well. Okay, because I know that in the past you've had history and problems with maintaining your child support. That's going to be a condition of probation because that's part of, you may not have been charged with failing to pay or failing to support. But I'm going to tell you, if you don't get that started and getting that paid regularly, you could face those felonies. And let's try and avoid that.